What's up, everybody? Today I'll show you how to do a VLOOKUP with single criteria and multiple criteria. I'll also show you other different ways to do a VLOOKUP or a lookup. Let's first start with single criteria lookup. This is a fundamental step in learning Excel. We'll use VLOOKUP and index-match functions to conduct our lookup. Let's first start with the single criteria lookup. On this particular data set, we want to look up what's the revenue generated by a certain product using a single lookup. In this case, let's say for Granite Ice, what was the revenue for Q1 of 2012? So to do a regular lookup, what we need to do is equals to VLOOKUP, the lookup value, in this case the product, Granite Ice, comma, the table array. Always note the first column that you start the array from, or the range that you're going to select, needs to have the lookup value. So in this case, let's do column E, which is where Granite Ice is, right over here in the middle. Column E 8 or 9. So this would be column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4. So the fourth column from the per column is revenue. So once we select the range E1 to H21, it would be comma 4. You can see over here on the address bar, comma 0. So 0, you can use 0 or 1 in this scenario using VLOOKUP. 0 is for an exact match. We need an exact match with Granite Ice to find the revenue generated from Granite Ice. There we go. So for Granite Ice, it's $25,041.60 in revenue. Let's say there are situations where you don't know if you have the certain value in your data set or not. Let's say if you're looking for ice pops, right? So in this case, it will give you a not applicable signal. The other function you can use to give you a result that if the VLOOKUP doesn't find something in your data set, you can use an if-error function. So I'm only going to add if-error right in front of VLOOKUP, if error bracket open, leave exactly the same everything else, comma 0. So now instead of having not available, we would have $0 come out in the result, which is a lot better, and you exactly know, or you can just have some text-based return as well. Let's go back to let's put render vision as a product over here. Now using the index-match function, it's very similar to VLOOKUP, but I prefer index-match a lot because you don't really have to count the number of columns. For index-match, we do index. So this would be the result column first. In this case, column H, the revenue column, comma, match. The lookup value would be render vision, the first criteria, and where you are going to apply the criteria to get the value from, which would be column E in this case, the product column. And the match type would be 0. And brackets close. As you can see, you exactly get the same result from index match and VLOOKUP. Both work in similar cases, but index match is more powerful than a VLOOKUP function. Because you can conduct multiple criteria lookups. You can have different criteria and you can run array formulas with index match. Doing a VLOOKUP on multiple criteria, let's see, I do have this formula already in here. It is showing hashtag value for a reason. I'll explain that. So let's say our criteria are the order type should be telephone, the retailer type should be from a golf shop, and the product should be steel irons. So it has 3 different criteria, and you need to get a result which on the same row with those 3 different criteria. This is extremely useful in so many cases. So to run this formula, I'll just slightly describe how this formula is being used. A similar way, use equals to index. You have the result column, which is the revenue, which we're trying to get, is the revenue. So you have the revenue over here. Let me move this up. So you have the revenue column right after index, match, comma 1. So we are putting 1 over there because it's defining it should be true for all these three conditions, all these three criteria. Once all those three criteria are true, once all those three criteria are true, then the match occurs. B2 to B21 equals to C31. So B2 to B21 is the order type, either it's by telephone or fax or online, whatever the criteria is. So it should be telephone, the retailer type, in a similar manner, which is separated by a multiplication sign. So you can add as many criteria as you want. You can have 15 different criteria and get a result value matching that, ending with an exact match. So if you just press enter in this scenario, you are not going to get anything. For this formula to run, you need to press Control, Shift, and enter. And there we go. For Hellstrom Steel Irons, here's the thing. It is through telephone. The retailer type is Golf Shop, and the product is Hellstrom Steel Irons over here. And the revenue is 28,434.48. The formula worked perfectly. The reason we do Control Shift Enter is to run an array formula. You cannot use this formula just using a regular enter, and you can see it's an array formula because it has this curly brackets in the front and back of the formula in this address bar over here. Well, that's it for today. Stay tuned and check out ideasoverflow.com for more Excel tips and tools.